I think so.
Thank you for having me. Sorry, I'm actually using my phone, so it's kind of a challenge. Thanks for having me, Osita, and hi to everyone.
Sorry, Mr. Samuel, we can't really hear you very clearly. I don't know if you can be a bit more audible. Hello? Hello?
Am I like audible now?
Yes, yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Thanks so much, Osita, for having me, and hi to everyone.
Hi, Samuel. It's such a pleasure to have you here. Although I wish you could see your face. UK has made you fresh.
Yeah, definitely. I'll switch on the video, so I'll try to switch on the video. Just give me a few minutes.
Okay, but it's okay. It's okay. Maybe it's too cold, but you don't want to see all the snow.
No, it's fine. I'll switch on the video soon.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah. Hi, Osita. I don't know if yeah.
We can see you very clearly. We can see the difference.
Yeah. Hi.
Okay, so I think it's going to be like an informal conversation, right? These are people interested in applying for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, and you're
Okay.
currently a recipient of this scholarship. So first, maybe tell us more about Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, and then maybe tell us like the type candidates that it targets, whether it's a fully funded scholarship, a partial scholarship, and then maybe how to go about the application process. Then we can take questions.
Okay. Yeah. Once more, thanks for having me, Osita. Yeah. The Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. It's actually a fully funded scholarship, and now this is by the UK government and UK universities. So that's what makes it different from the Commonwealth Master Scholarship, because in these UK universities they actually bid for positions to get that chance to receive a number of students. So when these universities bid and get a number of students that the UK government can sponsor, and the university too can sponsor, because it's kind of a sponsorship from two sides, so the university and the UK government. So the UK government basically pays for the tuition, and the university can handle like the living expenses. So it's fully funded, like everything is paid for. But Maybe I'll come back to this, but quite competitive, because if you notice the universities, when they do the bid, you see just about sometimes five places, 7 places, with the number of Commonwealth countries we have. So you actually apply for admission to the university. So you apply for admission, and then so you apply, like it's like a dual process. You apply to the university, and then you also apply to the Commonwealth. So there's like a website. So you have to apply to both. To the Commonwealth and to the university. So a selection process would happen, and the interesting thing about this is you don't submit your reference letters when you are applying. You just submit the referees, 3 referees, and if you are nominated, because it's the schools that nominate you, so everything happens around the university's concept. So they are the ones that nominate you. So when you're nominated, that's when they will request now for the reference letters. So that second part, the reference letters are given, and then the final result comes out. So if you are in, then you get the scholarship. So it's fully funded, nominated by the universities, and quite few places, but possible to get though. Thank you.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay.
Hello. Someone we can hear you clearly. We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, is it now? I hope I'm clear now. Okay, because I think we may be having a network problem. I think so.
We can hear you now.
Okay. So should I go on?
I think maybe the host is having a network challenge. Maybe we can wait for her.
Okay. All right, sure, no problem. Shared scholarship. Yeah, it does not mean that every course in Oxford would be eligible. So you go to the website, you see the full list of approved courses. So when you see that, and you have carefully choosing your university and the courses. So because when you look at it, you see university links on it, like you see links of those that are involved within the university, people to contact. Sometimes it's always good to contact these people to be sure exactly how they intend this thing for it to happen. Like, for example, schools like Cranfield would prefer that you first send to them and do their own preliminary evaluation. But other schools like Brunel would okay, you just go ahead and apply, and everything can work out. So I really advise that you contact those in charge, and you always see their contacts on the CSC link. So after you have chosen you're selected your university, and maybe one thing I should put it, you can apply for as many as possible. Like, there is no restriction, right? You can, even if you want to apply for 22 places, it's your cup of tea, but you can only accept one. Well, I don't know how feasible it is if you have the energy to write, because maybe coming to the essays, there are like 11 essays. So it's really not a soft process. I will not pretend about it. you have like 11 essays. So if you're going for more courses to apply for, it means you must really have the strength to go ahead with it. Yeah, so once you have you have identified your courses and all that, mailed them, and I really advise, like, apply for admission to the courses. Yeah, you have to apply for admission to the courses. Yeah, you apply for admission to the courses and then go ahead and go to the CSC link and apply. You don't need to wait for the courses to give you like an admission letter yet, because when you're filling the form, there is no place that you have to upload an admission letter. So the main thing is apply, because when you apply, you get an application number that you're going to use for the main CSC application. So it's important that you apply first. It's important that you apply first before going now for the CSC application. So, so that's what I'll put. So, of course, you need to have your full transcripts. You need to have maybe your identification document, because you have to upload all of that. Yeah. So that's what I would say.
So, Samuel, can you tell us a little bit more about the essays? Because a lot of the people that were sending inquiries prior to this time, which was what prompted us trying to organize the scholarship pack in the first place, many of them were like that they started writing the essays and they're sort of struggling with finishing the essays because of their bulk. And then the second one is that they're not really sure whether what they're writing can really help them to pull through at the end of the day. So they don't want to like put in the effort to write 11 essays and then still at the end of the day get rejected. So maybe can you just sort of give us an insight into how to think around that type of situation, as well as maybe some strategies of working on the essay that can actually help?
Wow, thanks for this question. This is the most important part. It's like it can make or break the whole stuff. Yeah, this is very important. Okay, now for those that may have looked at the application, you see that the first essay you have to write is Development Impact 1. Yeah, so I'll go through it. So Development Impact 1 essay. Now, in Development Impact 1 essay, you are expected to clearly show the challenges that like the challenges that challenges that your country is facing or the world is facing that should push you to want to do this particular field. That you should clearly show that, and how it is linked maybe to the sustainable development goals. So so Development Impact 1. So my tip for this, honestly, is that you have to, like, what I do is, like, you first look for credible sources that they can trust, maybe the WHO, UNICEF. So you should be able to clearly establish the problem. Like maybe, for example, if maybe you're going for environmental engineering or something water engineering, if maybe you start your Development Impact 1 by maybe a report, maybe UNICEF or WHO reported maybe in this year that about 2.2 billion people lack safe drinking water. These people can relate to this information, you know. If you're going maybe for something that has to do with air purification, maybe if you can show that World Bank data showed that maybe this type of particulate matter in the air can cause this problem. So you're supposed to start with something that they can relate with. So the data by trusted organizations. So with that, so I usually I move from general to particulars, I choose to put it. So general means, like, I would start with global data, maybe how what I want to solve affects the world. Then maybe I go now to particular. Let's say you're from Nigeria. how the like any data that has to do with the specific problem to Nigeria. And then maybe you mention how that problem has affected you in the past, like from a personal level. Maybe you work somewhere, you work with the Ministry of Environment, and you saw like a lot of like water problems and all that. And then you can now end the development impact essay by maybe mentioning why, if you study this, it's going to help, like how will it connect to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. They say, guys, it comes down to something. You have to be specific as much as possible. These people don't want generic statements. Yeah, generic statements like, I need this scholarship because I want to maybe bring transformation in the agricultural sector. The point is how. Instead of saying bringing transformation in the agricultural sector, maybe you might be specific, maybe to maybe for a particular, I don't know which example I can really take, but maybe creating an irrigation system that can maybe power about 50% of households in drought-stricken areas in Nigeria, in Cameroon, and all that. So, like, be specific as much as possible. Now, for development impact 2, see, this is what happens in the Commonwealth essays. Your first essay builds up, like how the essays are interconnected. So the way they give you the questions is that they expect that at the end of the 12 or 11 essays, there should be kind of a consistent story. So it builds up. So when you have already like identified what the problem is using all the data in development impact 1, now development impact 2, you just go ahead to mention how this specific course you're taking can help what you wrote in impact 1. And again, I can't stress this too much. You just have to be very specific. Maybe identify a company that you...
Hello, you are...
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you very clearly.
Yeah, hello. Okay. All right. So I hope you guys can hear me. So
yes, we can hear you, Samuel. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So development impact 2. So you go ahead and you talk about maybe a specific company. So like I said, you build up from impact 1. So mention a specific company you like to work with, or if you want to go the entrepreneurial route. So how would that course connect to it? It's very important. So you should be very specific. If there's a way, even mention names of local communities that you create your technology there. Yeah, it has to be very specific. Now in impact 3, they will just want to maybe for you to write more. Like, this is what is happening. You keep building on what you wrote prior to that. So in impact 3, you have to write, or maybe you mentioned a company that you like to work with. So you have to write more. And at this impact 3, what happens here is you try to put a timeline to it, right? Like somebody says, maybe I'll work in a company for 5 years. Maybe I'm going to affect the life of 40% of individuals. It's kind of an estimate, but it shows clearly what are your long-term, short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. Again, I'm still really stressing on specificity. And development impact 4, like they try to ask you what are some of the indicators, like what are some of the indicators that you have succeeded in your stuff, like by the time you come back, what are the indicators that you have succeeded in your endeavors. So here again, you must put timelines. So somebody might choose maybe 12 to 24 months, and then indicators of success can be in terms of okay, let me take maybe an example. Somebody has come back and designed a waste treatment system. So because of the design of that system, maybe yearly reports from organizations within your country can show that the waste has reduced, maybe the number of people that get sick. So there should be kind of a numerical indication that what you have come back to do is actually working. So this is what they want to see. And again, specificity is very important. Now for study outline, because there's a part where they ask you for the study outline. Yeah, for the study outline, you have to do your research. Like go to the course website that you're doing, like the course you want to apply for, and be sure that you can link what they do with the problem you're trying to solve. I mean, you should be very specific here. You can link what they do and the problem you're trying to solve. So study outline, you're trying to just mention, okay, at this within this time, I'm going to learn this knowledge on that will help me to build that and that and that. Yeah. So within the study outline, you practically connect information from the school to what you want to do. And now the detailed plan of study is another serious one. Like for me, what I did in this one is I selected specific modules of the university, specific modules. So I practically mentioned the module names and then connected the modules. So I described what the modules would help me do. So I connected the modules to real projects I would like to do. So it was that specific. But for you to do that, you have to really go and read through the website properly. And I think here they ask you for a preferred dissertation area. Yeah, so, and you cannot know that if you don't really read through the website well. So I really advise that really like you can use the module specific framework. Yeah, go through the modules and then find a way to connect the modules with what you want to do. Because somebody who is doing who is applying for international development, for example, if the person just mentions that international development will help me do this, and another applicant mentions that course A in international development in your school will help me do this, it shows that the second person has really researched well. The second person is talking course specific, like they practically identify that I've seen this course, this one, and this is what course A will help me do, this is what course B will help me do. So it comes back to the vital aspect of specificity I was mentioning. Then there's a part where they ask you for objectives of the award. Now, I'm assuming that those listening have at least looked at the Commonwealth essay, like at least this applicant, because it ends on the 20th, right? So you must have at least looked at it so you can relate to what I'm saying. At least maybe just not a huge idea about it, but at least you have a fair idea of what the questions are. Now, the objectives of the award. Now, what I did in this one is maybe taking example from my side is I practically mentioned the names of professors, like you mentioned about 2 professors, the work they are doing and how that will connect. So it was that specific. And then I again mentioned research centers, like because I'm from an engineering background. So I mentioned research centers. This research center will help me accomplish this. Like it was that serious. Then don't try to make it also too academic or too professional. When you mention the research centers and the modules and maybe any professor that you see that it's good to mention like 2 professors that is that their research goes alongside what you want to do. Also try to mention the soft side. Maybe there's an interesting thing around the place you're going to. Let me say somebody who is going maybe to Bristol. Maybe Bristol is known for having ports, or maybe you're going to Bath. It is known for having kind of some, I don't know, hot spring, something. So at least mention that side, right? Like maybe you like to visit the hot spring, at least towards the end, it should not just be all about academics. yeah, you like show at least that you know the place you're going to. Yeah. So for the objectives of the award, that's what I would advise. Career plans for the next 5 years. I think that's the next one. I don't know how much time do I have to go ahead with this so that I can be clear. I'm not taking too much time.
Okay. So I think that what the things you're doing now is very important because you're sort of explaining how to like approach each of the essays, essay by essay. So I think it's really important, right? So I think you can go ahead until like 6, and then we can take question for like 20 minutes and call it a wrap.
Okay, thank you. So career plans, they ask you for career plans in the 5 years following the award. So so you have to divide it, maybe like for me, I divided into maybe the first 3 months, and honestly, to this, you have to be very realistic in this one. They don't tell people that in the first 3 months what you do would be maybe maybe to build the biggest dam in Nigeria. That would be dishonest to do it in 3 months. So you need to be very truthful here because these guys can actually detect when it's a lie. So maybe the first 3 months, you could mention like maybe organize workshops, maybe to sensitize youth, because that's possible to do in 3 months, right? Maybe visits for like preliminary steps or something. Then maybe if you after 3 months, you could talk about maybe a period of 4 years, I don't know, like 5 years period. There you can talk something quite huge. Maybe you're working with a company, this is what you try to do. And again, I come back to specificity. So maybe the company you are designing portable water filters, so you expect that it will affect about 20% of maybe a population in Saudi Nigeria. I don't know, like so you have to be clear about it and maybe this career plan in the 5 years. So maybe you talk about 3 months and you talk about what happens after the 3 months. So you could arrange it like that. And we kind of very innovative about it, innovative and very specific. Yeah. So that's what I would say. And for long-term career plans, yeah. So for this one, you can talk about what happens after 5 years. So after 5 years, maybe till after 5 years, 10 years. Yeah. So this one still, so see, the whole point is your essays have to be coherent. You cannot say you want to work for NEPA. Maybe that may not be a very a welcoming example. But you cannot you cannot say you want to work for NEPA. And later in another part, you're saying that you want to work for NLNG, for example. It doesn't, like you're saying that at one point you said your aim is to work for NEPA for 5 years. And then you're coming now to this point and say you want to work for NLNG for 5. It doesn't make any sense. It just shows that you're gambling. So you must make sure that whatever you wrote up there, you have to keep, it's because if you look at the essays, they keep buttressing, like it's like what the Japanese call funneling question. So somebody would ask you explain a bit up, then like going down, they keep like pressing deep to see if you know what you're talking about. So you just have to keep buttressing the points you made up. And again, specificity is really, really key. And then you should be able to, I think at this point, like for this long-term stuff, they try to look at visionaries, like can you look into the future and see the things that will really work well? And that's easy. It's not that tough because if you do your research online, you see people like there are a lot of articles that you can clearly know what is happening. You don't need to be a magician. We are going, and if you really read, so this scholarship comes back to you have to do your research. Yeah, if you really read, you can be able to be a good visionary, and that can come across when you're writing your essays, that you know that okay, in the next this number of years, this is something great that can happen. Okay, like it's clear now that the water energy food nexus is an issue. Yeah, people are having tough times with water, with food, and all that. So anybody who can see that into the future, a technology that maybe can be explored, and you make it clear within your essays, why not? These people will be very happy with you. But again, it can be a tough one. Then the personal statement, the personal statement is the next essay you have to write. And maybe may I mention that these other essays are like, I think the first development impact 1, 2, I think they're just about 200 or 250 words. Yeah, from this personal statement, the essay now is kind of 500 words today. You really have to write a lot here. The personal statement and the voluntary and leadership experience. Yeah, you have to write quite a lot here. So in the personal statement, it's again specificity, as I keep mentioning. So even though you are writing about you, like maybe you are writing about where you have worked before, the projects you have done, and who you are as a person, honestly, you have to at the back of your mind, you have to understand that this is a scholarship and there's something they are looking for. And you have mentioned projects up, like in the other essays, you have mentioned projects. So you have to be thinking, whatever you are writing in the personal statement about how where you come from has shaped your mentality. You have to keep at the back of your mind, I mentioned some projects. So whatever you're writing must clearly show how you as an individual have grown from the from your life's journey to like what is pushing you towards these projects you have mentioned earlier. Like I said, it's coherence. So if you have mentioned that you want to do a project in water treatment, in a personal statement, honestly, if you can write a project where you have solved a water treatment problem in a community, it will go a long way to help you because it's connecting the dots with what you had earlier mentioned. So think around this in the personal statement. Yeah, nobody is really very interested in you going very generic, from this area, and this is what something like you have to be as specific as possible. Talk about projects you have done. Talk about stuffs different roles you took up, in the personal statement. Yeah, to talk about those different roles you took up. And please, I'll really advise an element of how do I call it? An element of like something that can touch the emotions is important, but don't lie. Just be truthful. Yeah, you get it. Like if you can really touch the emotions, like you can touch the emotions. Be honest, because if you're from Africa, you know what I'm talking about. There are communities where at 5 a.m. in the morning, people they stampede for water has left some people injured, and like there are things that we see on a daily basis. If you're in Africa, you see it and you weep like we have lived it. So like bring in the emotions here because you are not lying. It makes people see that no, this thing is painful. Yeah, because like you should be able to write to the point that somebody reads it and can even get teary. Yeah, that these problems are real, These problems are real. So the part of emotions is very important, but don't lie. Yeah, so you should be able to bring emotions, but not too much, because if you are talking about emotions without putting facts, nobody will really want to listen to you. So finally, voluntary and leadership experience. So maybe the difference between the personal statement and this one is maybe personal statement, I said just get to the real projects you did. Maybe you worked in a company and some stuff, but voluntary now, like, maybe where you were not paid and you try to help people out and all that. So maybe you work for some NGO and all that. So that's basically it. So yeah. And maybe just to add that, this may be quite amazing tips and all that. And again, my personal opinion though, so I hope it helps. But But don't forget, I still am one of those who still believes in the God factor, really. Yes, you can write all these things honestly. If God does not really intervene in this matter, it can be very tough. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Samuel. That was a very amazing presentation. And I'm hoping that a lot of people that were here on this call have been able to take a whole lot home. Not just about applying for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, but also about applying for scholarships in general. So before I open the floor for question, I have one big question, but it's something that comes up very often. So if a person does not have a first class, how many of your colleagues that got this Commonwealth Shared Scholarship currently had less than first class when they were applying? So that sort of helps the people applying to know if the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship typically awards people with first class or distinction in their undergraduate degrees. So I mean, if that's the case, the person with the 2 will probably prefer to apply for something else if he knows or feels that they would prefer people that have distinction in their undergraduate degree.
Okay. Well, I'll first like to say that what makes or breaks in this application is your essays. It's not even about the first class. Yeah, honestly, if you mess up in those essays, even have 5 on 5, nobody will take you. Yeah, because these guys are very concerned about development. So that's the first point I would like to note. So, and although they have mentioned that the person should have a first class and all that, interestingly, they still mention that somebody with a 2-2, but with a very good master's degree, can apply. So that shows you that they are not really very like for them, their first class or whatever is not really the major point. It's already the major point. Again, okay, maybe for those who like the people I applied with, I'll be honest, all these guys had first class. Yeah, all these guys had first class. But I want to believe that if the Commonwealth puts the possibility of someone with a 2-2 that has a master's degree to apply, then it can clearly show that there is there's a possibility of the person getting in. But for the point of having a 2-2 without a master's degree, it might be really tough because the eligibility criteria already is affected for you. Yeah. So it might be really, really, really tough, even if you have very powerful essays, because already it's clear in the eligibility. Yeah, it's clear. I'm not the one saying it. It's clear in the eligibility that if you have a 2-2, you have a master's degree to at least kind of try to cover it up or something. Yeah. So but again, I would like to reiterate that your essays, the essays, you cannot joke with it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for clarifying that. So I think we'll open the floor for questions right now. If you're shy, maybe you don't want us to see your face, or you don't want us to hear your voice, you can type your question in the chat box. But if you're like someone over here or myself, you can go ahead and either raise your hand or just unmute your mic and speak. Hello, can you guys hear us? Hello? Can you guys hear us?
We are with you. We can hear you.
Okay, so I was saying that we've sort of opened the floor for questions. So you are attending the event, so I'm guessing that you probably are either applying for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship or applying for a different scholarship that you might have some questions about to get insight on how to go about your thesis. So if you have any question of that nature, I think this will be the time to like ask the question. Because someone here is a very busy man. To catch him to come for this program was not easy. He's a very busy man. So if you have questions, I think now would be the time. I'm looking at the chat to see whether there are any questions. Okay, somebody raised his hand. Uchendu, please go ahead. Go ahead and
Oh,
speak.
okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Okay, good evening. This is my good evening all. This is my second time of applying for Commonwealth. So since this is an all-in-one webinar that will cover, so we can ask any question related to the Commonwealth. So I was reading about the visa application. That is when you eventually get the scholarship. So they said you have to apply 6 months before the start date. So the start date is usually September, and according to the timetable, the award should come out by July. So I want to know if it affects in any way, or they give exceptions to Commonwealth scholars. That's my question.
Okay. Uchendu, thanks for the question. I would like to say that the 6 months that was taken kind of more of like it's putting an ideal situation, right? Like it's kind of an idealistic situation to make sure that you have enough time to apply. It doesn't like mean that it would have really affected in any way, because if you check a UK visa generally takes about 8 weeks to get. Yeah, 8 weeks to get or less, or less. So So, but I think they put that so that you can start applying early, right? You can start applying early. But for a Commonwealth scholar, when you are even going to apply, because this is like fully funded, so you don't pay the immigration health surcharge, you don't pay the visa fee. So your application is really easy, like it's really easy. It's something that an application that you just fill online and you gather the docs and go. They can even you can apply even in like 2 to 3 days. And then like I told you, it takes about 8 weeks, 8 weeks or so to get it, or less. Some people get it in less. So it will not really affect. We are in the COVID situation and all that. Most of the schools have a remote learning situation where once you get admitted, you can go to the school will have, how do I put it, like your particular portal just for you, where you can put there that, okay, I'm learning remotely, and they'll do everything to go to the lectures on Zoom until you can arrive on campus. Like every school is very understanding now since it's a COVID situation. So should that happen, you don't have any problem. But again, I'm saying that it's not an issue because you're getting in July. School in the UK starts in October. So you're getting in July, and you practically have a visa like in 8 weeks, or some even get it in less time, so I think it does not really affect years. It does not really affect, considering that you pretty don't have much to do. It's not like you're paying any fee or something, any visa fee or making some complex documents. You fill it with your financial letter and all that, and I think you even submit everything but online, then go and get your fingerprints and all that. So just look between July, because I'm taking an example of myself now. We got it in July. We got it in July, and some of us even because we were held up with other programs, even applied for a visa. I think sometime inside September, even were held up and all that, and still got it, within the time frame and all that. Yeah, so it doesn't really affect. Although I may not know for the case of Nigeria, I'm from Cameroon, so maybe where you go there, the queue is really small, so you can do it. But for Nigeria, it might take a bit of time, but I know it will not go more than 9 weeks. So either way, you're still fine, because the school would understand you and all that. So nobody will really disturb you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Samuel.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Osita.
Okay, Samuel, I think there are two questions on the chat. So once we address that, then we can call it a wrap. The first one is from someone who is asking, is the scholarship still open? When will it be open? If it's not open, what's the link? Whether it's full scholarship. So I don't know if you can address that first before we go to the next one.
Yeah, it's still open. It's still open. The scholarship is still open. I think you have till 20th of December to apply.
Okay.
But I'll still suggest that when you go to the website, please, there are links of those responsible for the scholarship for the various schools. Try to email them so that you should be clear about the school-specific application process. They may have an example of like Cranfield. They have their own. You have to fill their own form and submit separately. Yeah, before even submitting to CSE, yeah, you have to fill their own. I mean, in addition to admission. Yeah, so it's open. It's open till the 20th of December. Yeah, till the 20th of December. As for the link, I think Osita, I don't know if you can or am I able to? I don't know. I'm using my phone, so I don't know if I can send the link.
Just a minute.
Okay. So it's open, and mind you, it's 4 GMT, 4 GMT. So 20th December. So the application close at 4 o'clock UK time. Yeah. So. Oh, wait, you don't get the CAC part? CAC? I think there was an abbreviation there. Osita, any clarifications on what the person really means?
Sorry, any clarification on? Sorry, Samuel, I didn't catch the last thing you said, please.
Yeah, the person was asking for like CAC. The person, I think, abbreviated something.
Okay.
Okay, no, CSC. Yeah, the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission.
Commonwealth Shared Scholarship.
The Commonwealth Scholarship Commission, they are the ones that are controlling the process.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to get. So, but you can address the second question. The second question is whether that has had a long study leave or someone that's been working probably and has not really been in school for like 6 years after their first undergraduate degree can still apply.
Okay.
Like, the point is that if someone graduated maybe in 2008 or 2009, would the person be able to like qualify for applying? That's like the question.
Yeah, of course. If you meet the eligibility, right? Like the basic eligibility requirements, you are from a Commonwealth country. You hold a first degree, at least upper second class, and a relevant postgraduate qualification in case you have a lower second class degree. So you are eligible to apply. But again, you have to. I feel you can use this you can leverage on this though, if maybe you within the 6 years that you had graduated and all that, if maybe during the 6 years you use that time well, I know maybe you were in a job or something, instead that is an advantage now, so you bring it hard in the essays, you bring in your experience, your world of experience doing projects, and all that, and I think that even helps your case that this one even this one already is an innovator from beginning, or this one is the type of project person that I think that will help your case. So use your 6 years that you have not been in school and use what you did during that time, and instead you use it to your advantage. Make sure that it should be clear within the essays that like you're not trying to like what I'm saying is there is no point trying to go and write maybe I've been out of school, like I finished school 6 years, trying to apologize, you get me? No, that's not the point. The point is use it, leverage on it, like for that 6 years, maybe you have been in a job come on, put it in the essays, put some strong stuff so that it can get you in. So it's an advantage instead.
Okay, okay. So what might have been a disadvantage can be an advantage depending on how you spin your story. That's
Exactly.
the idea. Okay. Okay, thank you so much for that. I don't know if there are other questions. Let me quickly check the chat box, just a minute. Let me quickly check the chat box. So AB, he said that CSC means Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. That's like
No,
an
no, no.
abbreviation.
No, CSC is a Commonwealth Scholarship Commission. The Commonwealth Scholarship Commission. Yeah, it's kind of the body that controls the scholarships.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, that's the UK government body that does that, right? Okay, someone is saying he's an undergraduate in his final year, whether he can apply for the Commonwealth Scholarship before NYSC. I can answer that one. The answer is no, because you're not yet done with your degree. If you're in your fourth year, it means that you probably still have like your final year. Penultimate year can be third year, which means you still have like one more year. If you were in your final year, then you can apply because you can have your degree certificate by the time the results come out. But if you're still in your penultimate year, by the time the results for the essays come out, of course, the school would not even give you admission if you've not submitted your degree certificate. So the answer is no.
Exactly. Even in final year, it will still be tough because it will still be tough because I think in the app you have to upload some certificate. It will still be tough, really, really. Like it will still be tough, but at least it's possible for final year. For penultimate year, no, it's out of the question. Sorry.
Okay, 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 that's fine. Sorry, so sorry, sorry. Questions just keep coming up. Uchendu, what's your issue with transcripts? What's your question about transcripts?
Okay, no, I'm just saying that you need to upload your transcripts, which you won't get if you've not graduated.
Oh,
Exactly.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to
Saying
mention.
earlier,
Thank you so much.
and you will still find it tough. So it's just better if you've like gotten your transcript and collected your degree certificate, then you can start applying for different things. So Samuel, just one last thing. How about IELTS? Was it like required when you were applying the English test?
I'll be very honest. To get admission into the universities, there are a good number of them. If you're coming from an English-speaking country, they'll kind of waive it, you know. Yeah, so to get admission will not be the problem. Now, to get even the scholarship, like to get nominated may not really, like you can still get nominated even when you don't have it, but I will not pretend to you to get the final, when you get nominated, you would, when you get nominated, you would be required to submit like some recommendation letters and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for you to get that final result, to be on the safe side, just get that IELTS, honestly. To be on the safe side, because there is a lot that can happen between that period. So yes, except maybe I don't know, maybe a divine intervention, honestly. But like I told you how far you can go. I don't really know of those that went without it and all that and finally got. Maybe there are people, but maybe there are people, but it can be kind of a tougher journey. You might do it, but the journey will be really tough. It will be really, especially if the competitors, like especially if the other applicants, right, have the IELTS, like it can be really, really, really tough. Yeah, it's not like you can't, but it places you a bit on kind of a dangerous pedestal.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for making out the time to be here. I'm sure I have learned a lot personally. I didn't actually know the challenges with the IELTS prior to now. And I'm sure everybody that was on this call from the beginning also learned a lot of things. So I recorded the webinar because like tradition so that we can upload it on our YouTube channel. So other people that were not able to attend, that register for the webinar can still like watch the video and get insight on how to go about their application. So we try to structure the videos so that it's divided into chapters. The parts where you talk about the ACs will be categorized into a specific chapter so that the person doesn't have to like watch the entire 1 hour course. So the person can just skip to a particular chapter, that particular chapter. So that's sort of how we try to add value
Okay.
to gain access to this opportunity. So thank you so much, Samuel, and we look forward to inviting you again. I'm going to give you honestly, thank you so much. So I think quality wrap. It's been a very, very
yeah, I don't know. Can the other I don't someone should unmute because it's kind of affecting getting.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm getting you now. Like someone was not muted, so it was kind of affecting. Yeah, but thank you so much. Thanks so much for having me, and yeah, I'm open anytime.
Okay, so some people were asking questions on the chat box about that they've currently written some parts of their essays, whether you'd have time to take a look and all that. But I think I'll put the group, like I'll put a link to our WhatsApp group so that they can reach out to me. And then based on your schedule, you can make time, even if it's just whether the essay is structured properly or something. I don't know if it's something you can do given your own schedule, but I think maybe something we can work around.
Yeah, honestly, yes, okay. My schedule is quite busy, but again, when it comes to something that can change another person's life, I think we may have to create time. Yeah. So so I don't joke with that. I understand what it means if someone gets it and what it could mean.
Yeah, you're right.
To their future. So it have me them.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much, Samuel. Like I said, I look forward to inviting you again for one of these sessions. I think I'm going to end the meeting now because I'm sure you have so many things on your own table to do, and we've enjoyed our session. I think it's time to go and eat rice. Today is Saturday. It's weekend. I don't know what the time is in the UK, but it's evening.
Yeah, sure. It's just like it's 1 hour behind. Yeah, it's 1 hour behind your time.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you would tell me that it's time for shopping in the UK since it's Christmas. I was thinking that.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much for joining.